So RV maintenance, it's not something I'm great at. It's not something I enjoy. But if you're gonna live the RV life, it's part of it. So on our way back from Williamsburg to Cookeville, I started to smell the brakes a little bit. So we got back to Cookeville, I checked the brakes, and my rear passenger side is leaking brake fluid. So I called a friend of mine who's a local mechanic. He came out and looked at it and verified what I was afraid. It's something that's not just like, something that could be fixed on the spot with something like this that's 26,000 pounds. And he said he was 99% certain it was a caliper. You can see right here where it's discolored. It's leaking right there. We're gonna be taking our motorhome in for repairs again, twice in a month. It's not easy to find somebody who wants to work on a motorhome this size.
This is the land of sky blue waters.
I asked this first place that said they wouldn't do it where to call, and they gave me a second place to call. I told them my situation, can we schedule a day to do it? And he's like, well, yeah, but I can't guarantee we can do it the same day. I said, well, what if we schedule a day, I bring it in first thing that morning, and I have the part, or you can pre-order the part yourself, whichever you prefer. He says, you may just be out of luck. You probably need to plan on staying in a hotel room while we're working on it. So I just need to know if you can take a couple of tires off and do whatever needs to be done with the caliper and put it back on. I'm about to call a third place. Okay. Voicemail. Actually, I'm on hold to get to the voicemail. I'm not sure what's going on.
Land of cool enchantment.
I gave up on that. I don't know. Let me try it again. So they pretty much said they're too busy. I asked if I could schedule something. They said that's not the way they work. We'd have to drop it off and wait, pretty much like the other place, a week or two to get it fixed. He did give me a suggestion on somebody else to call. This is gonna be my fourth place in town. Okay, so I called the fourth guy. He said he could get started on it right away if we brought it in. I'm gonna check with Marissa, see what day we can take this thing in. He wants to double check it. He's not gonna just let me order the caliper. It's pretty much guaranteed we're gonna be without our home for a night or two, so we're in our hometown. We'll figure something out. We took our Class A into a manual car wash where we washed it, but not crazy expensive, but for all the work we did, paying 30, 40 bucks was just like, eh. So I bought this stuff. For the most part, this stuff does an awesome job of washing and waxing the RV. And you can do it anywhere. You don't have to look for an RV car wash, or you don't have to ask permission to get out the water hose and soak down your RV. And I'm a fan of not wasting water if you don't have to. Yeah, it definitely takes longer than the manual car wash did, but I really like the results. A door that's done and a door that hasn't been done yet. Huge difference. What do you think, Hensley? No more of those. I made the mistake of, I left the bay open that had the marshmallows in it. So our critter, Hensley, found them. Took about an hour and a half, so by the time you drove an RV to a car wash and got everything out and washed it yourself and paid for it, it's pretty nice just to be able to, no matter where you're at, whip that stuff out and go ahead and wash and wax it. I saw you. No more. Nope. Hensley, you got all the cones out. Why'd you get all the cones out?
Bubbles.
Bubbles? You want bubbles and cones? I've learned that the number one thing toddlers love to do is make a mess. So it's good to figure out that trick, but it's bad that that's the trick. Oh, and they love bubbles.
Bubbles.
Hensley needs a break, so we're heading to a playground we know about here in town. You want to tell them why you had a meltdown, Hensley? She wanted her big blanket, but we've told her big blanket stays in the bed, so she's stuck with her small blanket. I think we're being pretty lenient letting you have that small blanket, Hensley. We like this playground. It's at our church. It's one of the only ones we can get to that has a lot of shade, and it's supposed to be like 94 degrees today. I don't know if it's that hot everywhere in the US. We've really enjoyed following the weather. It feels like it was like a, I don't know, like a 4-month-long spring or fall or something like that. It was always between 40 and 70, 40 and 70, pretty much everywhere we went. This is different. So we're heading to one of our favorite places to go. The bad thing is this place is next to a marble slab. So every time we go, we've got to fend off somebody who wants the ice cream instead of the sandwiches.
The ice cream?
No, we're getting a sandwich. We're not getting ice cream. She loves her watermelon, my goodness.
I do.
You want a peach?
I did a peach at the beach.
A peach at the beach?
Yeah. Can't come to the beach without a peach.
She definitely remembers things we've done.
So I've noticed our slides have started to stick a little bit. And one thing I saw on YouTube, it was RV Geeks I think that did this, but just take some baby powder and just put it on an old cloth or sock or whatever you got laying around, and then just slide it up and down the gaskets. When it comes to RV maintenance, of course you've got tools that you need to do the job. I definitely don't have as many tools as I'm sure full-timers that have been doing this for 5 or 10 years have. Start with a ladder. Like most every other full-timer you'll ever see, if you want to know if somebody's full-time or not, usually you can look at the RV going down the road, and if they have a ladder tied to the back of it, they're probably full-time. I keep most of my tools in these DeWalt cases. You can stack them together and carry in more than one easily with just one handle if you need to. I stack in the bay where I store everything really well. So, and this one is basically my oil change stuff. This case kind of breaks off from the top with some of that. It's a power drill. The bottom, it's got some slide-out drawers where I keep some smaller things in there. Got a Dremel. Here's our heavy-duty air compressor. I do love this thing. It handles our 22.5-inch tires just fine. Stanley 201-piece set. I don't know if I needed something quite this big. I don't know. I definitely use it, but I probably only use maybe a fourth of it. Lastly, this is just my general toolbox with a hammer, screwdriver, speed square, WD-40, typical tools you want to have around. You know, if it's something you know you can buy at a Walmart or somewhere local, I mean, just take it easy on the tools and just buy them. You know, even this Stanley tool set down here, I mean, I could have bought something that would have done that at a Walmart when I needed it. So if you've got some tools, I mean, just kind of build off what you've got. It's not like you have to go out and spend $500 and get a bunch of tools. So I had a subscriber tell me that one of our, honestly, I don't even notice this stuff. This is how you know somebody is not maintenance savvy. Like, I didn't even notice. He saw our wipers in one of our videos and said, your wipers are out of alignment, it's driving me crazy. And he told me a couple of things to try to get them aligned. So I'm gonna try to get these things aligned because it is harder on the motor. And it probably will bug me now that I know about it. I honestly have no clue what I'm doing with this. So there's the motor for the wipers. I'm guessing the adjustment for it might be up in there somewhere. Okay, so here's the thing. I've messed with these wipers for about an hour. I haven't even put that nut back on there. I probably need to do that, hold on. Here's the thing. I don't really enjoy maintenance. I don't know why. Everybody's wired a little bit differently. Like, I'll sit there and mess with code for a website or search engine optimization for a small business. Stuff that's insanely boring for some people, I can sit there and do it for hours and hours and hours, and it does not bother me. But for some reason, I just don't enjoy RV maintenance. That's probably kind of bad considering we travel in an RV full time. But so I'm trying to learn to enjoy it. But I've worked on these wipers for like an hour and I still don't think I fixed it right. So I'm trying to figure out that balance between what I can and should do on my own and when I should just throw in the towel and pay somebody to do it. Because there's probably a guy who can do this in 5 minutes. That's something that's really frustrating to me too, and I'm doing something and I'm like, somebody who knows what they're doing could probably do this in 5 minutes. So I would rather pay that person to do that than me myself. But I understand there's that balance of you also need to learn to do things with an RV, or at least have a general idea of what's going on with your RV, because things may go wrong where you can't get to a mechanic, or it may be insanely expensive to get a mechanic. I'm taking the RV in anyways for brakes. I'm just gonna add this to the list. So when it comes to RV maintenance, just know per square foot for sure, there's gonna be more of it than there is in a house. I'm not saying it's so insanely bad that it's not worth getting an RV, but it is something you need to be made aware of. If you're not super handy or you don't enjoy RV maintenance like myself, I would probably lean toward getting something 5 years old or newer, because once you start getting to that 10-year range, you're not just dealing with the brakes and the engine, and at 10 years you start dealing with things like the roof, the AC, the refrigerator, the tires, the awnings. I mean, stuff starts falling apart at 10 years. So you're constantly gonna be running around fixing those things. If you're savvy, you enjoy that, you can save some money going that route, getting an older RV. For as well, if you buy a brand new RV, you're still gonna have issues. Yeah, it's under warranty. Yeah, you can get it fixed, but it's still your home. I'm gonna call it a day. That's my 2 cents as far as maintenance. If you got questions on other things besides in-depth RV repairs, feel free to let us know. I'll pass that on to the pros. There's so many how-to videos out there on doing repairs. I don't feel like it's a huge necessity for me to show things like that. Although, maybe if I find out this wiper thing, I might show that. I don't know, who knows.